Good Monday morning. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Michelle Beck. We are following breaking news in Edina this morning, where an armed robbery investigation is underway right now. That's after shots were fired and one person was hurt and taken to the hospital. All this unfolding around 6 p.m. off France Avenue South and Hazelton Road. That's not far from the Galleria Mall. Our Audrey Russo has been covering the story all morning long, and she's here with the latest.
The big questions we have this morning, have police identified any suspects and have they made any arrests? Now, I know our desk reached out to Edina Police last night. I reached out again to the city when I got in this morning. Police tell us they're going to release more information about this robbery at some point today, but this is what we know right now. As you mentioned, it happened around 6 o'clock. Take a look at this video. This is what our crews captured when we arrived on scene. We could see Edina police officers looking at bullet holes in the passenger side of this black BMW. This is in the Lunds and Byerly's parking lot, part of a larger commercial area near the Galleria Mall, about 5 minutes away. Now, police tell us overnight the person who was sent to the hospital is expected to survive. People were told to avoid the area during the investigation. They're now able to return this morning because, again, this is a very busy commercial area during the busiest shopping weekend of the year, arguably. Now, from what I can see here in this Lunds and Byerly's parking lot, there are security cameras. In fact, there's a sign right there saying that the property is protected by 24-hour surveillance video. So police are likely looking through that footage to see exactly what they can figure out. Again, police have not confirmed whether or not there's a suspect in custody, but we will continue to ask law enforcement and bring you the latest details both on air and online.
Well, happening today in New York City, Luigi Mangione heads back to court. He's accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last year. His attorneys are expected to ask the court to throw out diary entries and other evidence in his state murder case. They argue investigators illegally searched his bag when he was arrested. Prosecutors deny those claims. Mangione also faces a separate federal death penalty case. That case returns to court next month. And right now, President Trump's top U.S. envoys are on their ways to Moscow to continue negotiations to end the war in Ukraine. This comes after more than 4 hours of talks yesterday in Florida between U.S. and Ukrainian officials. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is saying the discussions were productive and showed some progress.
Our objective is a prosperous, strong Ukraine. We were discussing about the future of Ukraine. We discussed all the important matters that are important for Ukraine, for Ukrainian people, and U.S. was super supportive.
U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is also expected to sit down with President Putin sometime this week. Happening right now, the House and Senate have started their inquiries into a reported second U.S. strike on an alleged drug smuggling boat in the Caribbean that killed the survivors of an initial strike, according to two sources. The reporting is raising some questions about whether the U.S. actions broke the laws of war. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington.
Hi there. There are questions on both sides of the aisle here, with some critics calling the alleged double strike a war crime, others questioning the administration's rationale of being at war with the drug cartels in the first place. This morning, a growing push for answers about the U.S. boat strikes off Venezuela targeting alleged drug smugglers. President Trump backing Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth amid new reporting the Pentagon carried out a second strike on a boat to kill survivors of the first hit.
Pete said that didn't happen.
Does that make you?
I have great confidence in it.
A U.S. official and a source familiar with the actions tell NBC News it happened on September 2nd, and the Washington Post, citing two sources, was first to report the second strike came because Secretary Hegseth had ordered all on board killed.
We'll look into it, but no, I wouldn't have wanted that, not a second strike.
Critics in Congress calling it a war crime.
So this rises to the level of a war crime if it's true. And the questions that we've been asking for months are, give us the evidence that the folks on board were really narco traffickers.
Now, Republican leaders of the Senate and House Armed Services Committees launching inquiries promising rigorous oversight.
If that occurred, that would be very serious, and I agree that would be an illegal act.
When people want to surrender, you don't kill them, and they have to pose an imminent threat.
The Homeland Security Secretary disputed the account, while Secretary Hegseth posted, "Our current operations in the Caribbean are lawful," and the Attorney General defended the administration's approach to fight drug cartels.
They are narco-terrorists. What you're showing on the screen right now are terrorists, and they are being blown up.
A series of U.S. boat strikes have killed more than 80 people over the past few months. The Trump administration has been ramping up its military presence in the Caribbean, and President Trump posted that airlines should consider the Venezuelan airspace closed. Asked whether that meant an airstrike was imminent, the president said not to read anything into it, while also confirming he recently spoke by phone with Venezuela's leader without offering details. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
Developing right now in California, an urgent search for the people responsible for a mass shooting at a kid's birthday party Saturday night. Hours ago, the community of Stockton came together for a vigil calling for justice.
Turn yourself in, because at some point, the redemption for what you did is going to happen when you see the person that created you. But you can start that process by turning yourself in and doing the right thing today.
4 people were killed, including an 8- and 9-year-old. 11 others were injured. Authorities are describing the shooting as a targeted attack. Minnesota native Lindsey Vonn is on a mission to make her 5th Olympics appearance, ending her legendary career on her own terms. The 3-time Olympic medalist was forced to retire in 2019 because of severe knee pain, requiring a partial knee replacement. The gold medalist in downhill skiing had surgery in 2024, taking away her pain and giving her the chance to make this comeback.
The energy is high. I've been training really hard. I'm skiing really well, and I can't wait to be in the starting gate in Cortina. It's like a second chance. I feel very grateful. You know, I retired in 2019 because my body said no, not because I said no. And I think this is an amazing chance to be able to end my career on my own terms. And most people don't get that chance, so I'm looking forward to the final chapter.
Vonn is now 41 years old and started her journey in the Olympics when she was just 17. In this morning's Communities That Care, we're highlighting the thousands who gathered at the St. Paul River Center to celebrate the Hmong New Year. Sammy Selena was there.
With the largest urban Hmong population in the world, it only makes sense for St. Paul to house Minnesota's Hmong New Year. Tens of thousands will come to the annual celebration, a time to honor ancestors and give thanks for the harvest. Young people compete in competitions. Families buy new traditional clothing, and you can't forget about the food. But one of the most beloved traditions is the ball toss. It's a courtship ritual, usually between young, single men and women, to break the ice during the festival.
We grew up on the farms, on the land, and doing agriculture, raising livestock, and so that's year-round. And so with the Hmong New Year, that's the only holiday where we actually come home.
Mi Vang is the president of the United Hmong Family, the organization in charge of the event at River Center.
Hmong New Year is the only Hmong holiday that we know of, and it's been practiced for thousands of years. So when you go from Thailand all the way back to China, you'll see Hmong celebrations for the New Year.
Now turning now to people who make snow their business, they're hoping for a busy winter. This weekend, lots of people were rushing to stores for ice melt, scrapers, and snow blowers. At Fratelloni's Hardware in St. Louis Park, they also fixed snow blowers coming out of storage and tuned up the ones stored with them. Dennis Johnson, owner of Premier Lawn and Snow, started plowing driveways on Sunday at 4:30 a.m. and didn't plan on stopping till 9 p.m. While most customers pay a fixed fee for the season, Dennis says the weekend snow brought him new clients.
I've been doing this for 38 years, so I'm not really too nervous from season to season. If we get 20 inches of slush, I can handle it. I've got experience.
And while Buck Hill in Burnsville is able to make its own snow, the colder temperatures and recent snowfall gave them a boost. Opening day was on Saturday. Stick with us. More news and weather are coming up after the break.